All right, lastly, this is what Vitalik is worried about with Bitcoin. Okay. We know Vitalik has been very working hard and going long on Ethereum, right? Obviously moving from proof of work to proof of stake. That's coming up this month, approximately 2 weeks from now, right? So, he's being asked about why make the change, right? Why move to proof of stake instead of staying in proof of work and stuff like that. And he did say something interesting about Bitcoin and its security because of proof of work. Okay. And he makes, all right, before I counter it, basically, to quote him, first, in the long run, Bitcoin security is going to come entirely from fees. Well, it's already true. Yes, it's basically entirely from fees. And Bitcoin is not succeeding at getting levels of fee revenues required to secure what could be a multi-trillion-dollar system. Bitcoin fees are about $300,000 per day and haven't really grown much over the last 5 years. Okay. So what he's saying is pretty true, right? The network is secured by the miners. And the miners are incentivized to process and verify transactions. And that's it, and the reason why the network is so secure is because there's so many miners spread across the world, right? And there's no single point of failure. It's a large network. To do a 51% attack would be very difficult. First of all, you couldn't get enough mining power. Second of all, it takes an enormous amount of money, right? But Vitalik's point is this: Bitcoin right now is, well, what's market cap? Market cap is 400 billion, okay? So what if it grows 5x or 6x, right? It becomes 1, 2, 3 trillion in market cap. And that's very easy. That just means that Bitcoin goes back up to 70,000 where we were, right? But if everyone is holding it, everyone is using it as a store of value, and no one is really sending Bitcoin across the network, well, then the fees still stay low, right? So there's not that many fees that's being processed and not that many fees that's being spread around to the miners. So he's arguing that that's a security risk, because that means that, first of all, a lot of miners and validators, they might not stay as miners and validators because they're not making a whole lot of money, right? And second of all, if that's the case, there could be big corporations or evildoers, whoever, that may have enough money and may have enough machines to, do a 51% attack on Bitcoin. Because if Bitcoin is worth trillions, why not spend a few $100,000 per day to try to hack the network, right? So what he's basically saying is this: there's not going to be enough fees to secure the network or incentivize the miners to secure the network, right? That's basically his concern. I don't know if moving to proof of stake really fixes that concern, because you still could have the same issue. There's a lot of projects that's proof of stake, and they still get hacked left and right and suffer, problems with security. And the second thing is, this is assuming that Bitcoin does not, there's not a lot of fees in the future, that the fees can't keep up with the growing value of Bitcoin, which, that's just assumption. That may not be true at all. Imagine if countries start adopting Bitcoin and they're sending billions upon billions between each other every single day. Well, then the fees will be really high, right? The trading activity on Bitcoin can continue to rise up in line with the growing value. So again, that's just like assumption. Speculation does not mean that it's going to be like that. And the miners that are powering the network, you know what they're doing? They're buying more and more and more and more machines. We have seen over the last 2 years. The ones that are public, like Mara and HUD-8, they continue to add thousands and thousands and thousands of miners every single year. And it's very unlikely that they're going to say, okay, we have enough. We're not going to increase our hash power in line with the growing difficulty. That doesn't seem likely. They're going to continue to do it because it's profitable for them and they want to dominate the market, right? So again, to be able to do a 51% attack becomes infinitely more impossible going forward as more and more machines are being added to the network and as difficult rises, right? So I see what Vitalik is saying, but it's just, again, making a lot of assumptions and unrealistic. But that's all. And I don't know if he said it because he's trying to justify why Ethereum is moving to proof of stake. Possibly, right? But I think it's a little overblown at this point. Let's just put it like that. And there have been many people taking advantage of buying. Not just people, whales. Whale addresses skyrocket to a 6-month high despite bearish sentiment. Why do you think that's happening? Because the whales know better. They buy when other people are fearful. So that's why whale addresses continue to go up. But if you're looking at some of the stuff that's going on, you look at like something like the DXY, which many predicted that we were going to see a double top. Well, it looks like that double top has been invalidated because the DXY is still rising. DXY is at 109 and still going higher, right? So, and this is, I guess my point with this is the DXY is going higher because there's a lot of economic uncertainty around the world, which is why all these currencies from around the world are not doing so well, right? So they're not doing well. Well, DXY will continue to go up. And if the DXY continues to go up, well, usually it does not mean it's good for equities or crypto, even though that trend will break eventually, but not right now. So the DXY is still gaining strength. And that's something that we actually don't want to see, but it is still happening. If you're looking to buy Bitcoin and crypto for the first time and you don't know where to get started, head over to CryptosRus.com and click on the best exchange guide. Within, you'll find a list of exchanges that I recommend and some that I use on a daily basis. If you are outside the US, I highly recommend looking at Binance.com first. They are the biggest exchange out there, supported in almost every single country. They have a fantastic fiat on-ramp, off-ramp system. They offer the most trading pairs and the lowest fees in the industry. You could also download a mobile app onto your Android and Apple device very easily. If you are in the US, I recommend taking a look at the sister company of Binance, Binance.us, which offers all of these things and more. So if you want to learn more, head over to CryptosRus.com or utilize the links in the description of this video.